Now let's join Andrew at TruJoy Nutrition and Wellness, where they are empowering individuals to achieve true love by attaining true health.
Well, as you know, here on Grand River Living, we try to bring you into restaurants and meet with chefs to learn what's happening in the food world. But there's lots of other ways to get information about our community as well when it comes to food. And I'm here with Jenna Gass. She has a company that's called
TruJoy Nutrition and Wellness.
And it's just one of the companies around us that does work with food, that teaches people how they can be healthy and how they can be wise with food. We have a lot of lovely looking produce here, Jenna, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But give us a little bit of a rundown, the W5 as it were, on what your company is and what you do.
Sure. I am a certified nutritionist. I'm also the owner of TruJoy Nutrition and Wellness. And what I do is I do one-on-one nutritional consultations with people where, together with supplementation, diet recommendations, I basically bring people to an optimal level of health. And what I like to say is help people find true joy. I also do nutrition dinner parties where I go into people's homes and I provide them a 3-course nutrient-rich meal, as well as a cooking demonstration, educational piece, basically so that people get to leave feeling like they've learned something, but they've also enjoyed a 3-course really great meal. Thirdly, I also go into workplaces and I do corporate lunch and learns. So I basically do what we're doing here today in the kitchen setting, but in a corporate setting, where I educate people on the benefits of eating healthy food and what that food can do to their body and their overall health.
Okay, Jenna, so we've got this lovely produce here. We have to get it into an edible form. You're going to cook for us a summery salad, I'm guessing, or some kind of a dish that has lots of great flavors, lots of great aromas, and the wonderful colors that are here. Yes,
we're going to make a quinoa tabbouleh salad today. So most of you probably know tabbouleh salad as having wheat bulgur, but today we're going to use quinoa, which is a gluten-free, it's actually not a grain, it's actually a seed. And what's so unique about it, it's actually a complete protein. So it's a complete protein as well as a great iron source. So it's a really healthy staple food.
It's become popular recently, hasn't it?
It has.
It's gained a lot of traction. You see it in restaurants more and more now. It's just a great, great product. I've had it on a couple of occasions, but I don't think I've had it as a tabbouleh salad. So what do we need to do to get to the tabbouleh salad?
Sure. So first we're going to start off by cooking our quinoa. And for the recipe today, we're going to be using 2 cups of dried quinoa. Anytime you cook quinoa, you want to do 1 part quinoa to 2 parts water. So today we're going to do the 2 cups to 4 cups water, obviously.
And what are we doing with all this great green stuff?
So we're going to cut up some parsley, some cucumber, some tomatoes, some fresh mint, as well as some garlic here. And I'm going to add a little bit of jalapeno in for a bit of a bite to the tabbouleh salad as well.
Okay, lovely. That's nice. Gives it a little flavor.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of the sweet minty flavor as well as the spice.
Now, I've only had one kitchen accident. Is there anything I can do to help?
Sure. So let's start by cutting up the cucumber. So I've already washed the cucumber. We're going to use, I'd say, half of it. I've called for 1 in the recipe, but this is a little bit larger of a quinoa, so maybe if you want to start by cutting up half of the cucumber for me.
Okay, and what kind of, show me the cut.
Finely diced.
A fine dice, oh goodness. Okay, were you leaving the skin on and everything?
I'm going to leave the skin on. I always, not always, but usually leave my skin on because it's the fiber.
So a dice.
A dice.
So can I just, like if I take a piece like that, and then, is this what you want it to look like? Of that kind of a size?
And then in half again? Like yeah, that's perfect. While he's doing that, I'm going to show you how to cook the quinoa quickly. We've got the boiling water already on the stove, and this was the 4 cups. So now we're going to add our 2 cups of dried quinoa. And we're just going to get to a boil again, and then once it's brought to a boil, we're going to put the lid on and simmer it for about 15 minutes. That's another thing that's great about quinoa. It only takes about 15 minutes to cook. A lot less time than something like brown rice, for example. Great, so while the quinoa is cooking, Andrew and I are going to finish chopping up the vegetables.
No, Jenna's going to finish chopping up the vegetables because...
I don't know, I kind of like you doing it.
Now, tomatoes, when something is as red as that, it says to me that it's got to be a really healthy kind of thing to eat. What is it about tomatoes that we should be happy about?
Well, there's lots of things to be happy about. But specifically the lycopene.
And of course, when we cook tomatoes, does it change the chemical composition? Does it make the lycopene less active against those free radicals or more active, or does it matter?
So typically whenever we cook any vegetable, we're really turning something that's living into, I don't want to say non-living, but it does definitely deplete the nutrient value. You've probably heard of a lot of people on raw diets nowadays and things like that, and that whole principle is around the living enzymes in food. So food in its natural uncooked state has living enzymes, and we need enzymes to digest our food. So when we actually eat a raw food item, it actually helps break down and digest our food for us so that our digestive system doesn't have to do all the work on its own.
Okay, Jenna, so we've got tomato, cucumber, parsley, mint, and about a half a jalapeno, and now we're working on the sauce component while the quinoa sits and is ready to be incorporated into this dish.
So the sauce has, I've squeezed 1.5 lemons. We're gonna use a half a cup of olive oil and a clove of fresh garlic.
Garlic, this time of the year, beautiful
so
from
good.
Ontario.
Yes.
And that's an interesting bottle too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is tamari, which is wheat-free and fermented soya sauce.
Wheat-free. A lot of people don't realize that soy sauce has gluten in it, which can be bad for people that have
Exactly. It's one of those kind of hidden ingredients in a lot of things. But so the fermentation, what happens with non-fermented soybeans, they actually are estrogenic in the body, meaning that they actually mimic estrogen. So what happens is it creates an estrogen imbalance, which we don't want.
Right.
It happens in males and females,
Which is bad for us.
which is bad. And
Anything
now,
special about your olive oil? Do you need extra virgin olive oil, or are you not so concerned with that?
So for the olive oil, excuse me, those hot peppers, the olive oil I recommend extra virgin cold pressed. The reason why is because it's less processed. So
less processed, right?
Less processed. When we have more processing, we're just getting rid of those nutrients like vitamin E and things like that that are naturally in the olive oil. So I recommend to people that you always just have one raw item when you eat a meal.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily say eat raw all the time. I think everyone's different and whatever works for you. But with digestion in general, I always recommend eating one raw food with
That's a very good tip.
No matter if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because then it helps just with digestion overall.
Right. Have a nice fresh red tomato with your scrambled eggs or something in the morning.
Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah. And these are interesting. It looks, at first I thought it was pepper, but it's not.
Yeah, so these are chia seeds. Chia seeds are a great source of omega-3. Out of all the plants, chia seeds actually have the highest source of omega-3s. Also, great source of fiber. 2 tablespoons is already 7 grams. And great source of protein, 4 grams and about 2 tablespoons.
And can the kids make chia pets with them? You know those?
I don't know, I've never tried. Maybe I'll let you try that one at home. So we're gonna use just a couple tablespoons. And this is basically just gonna add some additional fiber, protein, like I mentioned, omega-3s to our salad.
Nice texture too, I bet, eh? Crunchy.
It is a nice little, kind of similar to sesame seeds, really.
Right. Lovely.
Lastly, the only thing we're missing is our quinoa. So now we can take a look at that.
When you've cooked quinoa, do you add anything? Do you need to add anything after the fact? Is it just right the way it is? You don't salt and pepper or any seasoning like that?
I don't. I know some recipes will call for like a vegetable broth or a chicken broth. I typically will just use water, but that's always an option as well if you want to maybe make something maybe a little more savory or something.
Okay, and then we're just going to incorporate it.
And then we're just going to incorporate it. Quinoa is really nice because it takes on the flavors of the food around it. So now that the quinoa is cooked, we can see what it looks like. We're going to add it to the recipe.
So this was the 2 cups?
This was the 2 cups.
So it
It
grows.
basically doubles in size.
It can be quite economical to feed many people.
It can be. And this salad can be kept in the fridge throughout the week. The longer the better in a way because it marinates nicely.
Yeah, it's got a nice crunchiness, the quinoa to it, yeah.
And a bit of a nutty flavor as well.
So we have it here now. This is the finished product.
Yeah, so this is done now. It's a quinoa tabbouleh salad. And what we've used today is 2 cups of dried quinoa. We've used 2 tomatoes, half a cucumber, 1 cup of parsley, finely chopped, half a cup of mint, finely chopped, and a little bit of jalapeno, which is optional. I love hot stuff, so I added it, but some people don't, so that's completely optional. And last, we made our dressing with the half a cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of tamari, 1.5 lemons squeezed freshly, and 1 clove of garlic minced. And then we just sprinkled the chia seeds on top. So the tamari you can find in any health food store or grocery store. Typically in the health food section of the grocery store you'll find tamari, as well as a place like Bulk Bar, and they have it.
Well, thanks. I don't think I can pick any up today, but I am going to go pick up some tamari. Well, we want to thank Jenna Gass from TruJoy Nutrition and Wellness. We've learned a little bit about food elements and the nutritional aspects of them, not just the great flavors that they have. Jenna, final words, what should people sort of think about? What's the sort of the philosophy that you operate by when you're thinking about getting nutritious food?
So one thing is trying to eat in-season food as much as possible, eating organic produce as much as possible. Like I mentioned before, eating something raw with every meal to help with digestion, and finding what works for you and your lifestyle. I don't want to recommend something that's going to stress someone out even more so than the stress that we're under nowadays. So just finding what suits you best, and each individual is different, so there's not one diet that works for everyone. It's basically finding what works best for you, and that's what I'm here for, is to help you find that. Well,
let's see if this is best for me. Very good.